This year, as Colleen mentioned, we're celebrating the theme, The World is Ours. And because of all of you, the future holds great promise for people with Down syndrome. Every day we are inspired by your stories and how you are pushing the envelope to ensure that you and your loved ones have every opportunity to lead meaningful and fulfilling lives. Through our forceful presence on a state and national level, legislators are hearing our voices to pass critical policies that will improve the lives of people with Down syndrome. And last year, we had our very first advocacy day at the State House, and you turned out in full force with over 200 people that were there. And I am sure that your voices and your phone calls and your trips to Washington were critical in terms of us passing three actually, of our priority bills, the ABLE Act, the National Background Check Bill, and the Real Lives Bill. So please give yourselves a huge round of applause for that amazing accomplishment. Woo! We have a workshop this afternoon to talk more about implementation, but I'd like to thank some specific people who were instrumental in helping us get this legislation passed. First of all, Jane Lane, who's our government affairs consultant, worked tirelessly to help us through the process. I'd love to have her stand up and thank her publicly for her amazing work to support our efforts. Thank you, Jane. Also, a big thank you to the members of our Legislative Advocacy Task Force. They help us review policies each year and make sure that we're on target with the kinds of things that will have the most impact in the lives of people with Down syndrome. Thank you to all of their amazing efforts. And finally, we want to thank Commissioner Elin Howe and Deputy Assistant Victor Hernandez, and Representative Tom Santacandro, who we could not have done this without their ongoing support for all of these legislative bills. They're all right here up in the front in table 4, so thank you all. You guys, we couldn't have done it without you, and we know how truly you care about our families and how you will help us to continue to move our mission forward. There's so many things to celebrate today. We just released a new book called Meaningful Inclusion for students with Down syndrome, and you'll hear a little bit more about that later today, but it's something that we are very proud of because we know that educators and families are looking for those best practices. We're also celebrating our Parents First Call program, and I don't think there's any program at the MDSC that better exemplifies the World is Ours theme. The First Call program has grown into a national model thanks to the extraordinary efforts of our Family Support Director, Sarah Cullen, who's here today. Thank you, Sarah. She has been all over the country helping other organizations start their own First Call programs. So not only are we having an effect on families here in Massachusetts and New England, but we're teaching other organizations on how they can have a First Call program. As a matter of fact, we're not only hearing from people around the country, but we're starting to receive calls from literally around the world. We've heard from Brazil, Japan, Mexico, Lebanon, all reaching out to us because they, again, want to bring those best practices to their countries. We're having a very real and meaningful impact thanks to you who are our most staunch supporters. I'd love to share with you today that we have a family that's with us all the way from the Republic of Macedonia. And this family has a very special story. It's a little bit challenging to talk about because things are very different in their country than they are here in the United States. And, you know, turn the clock back 50 years when many of our families who came before us at the time of their child's birth were recommended that they put their children in an institution, and that's still the case in her country. There are no therapies, services, or specialists for Down syndrome in their country. They're providing all their therapies at home with the guidance of the internet. Thank God for the internet. It's hard to imagine, but you know, there is hope. Like many families who came before us, this family is starting to translate materials, create a Down Syndrome Center, and doing everything so that they can bring the best practices back to their country. Today, they're listening to our speakers, they're connecting with our renowned Down syndrome clinics from Mass General Hospital and Children's Hospital and a new clinic at UMass. And I just wanted to recognize them today for their hard efforts and have them stand. They're here up in the front, table number 2. This is Ida and Eric Manton and their 2 children, Leona and Lucia. Thank you so much for being here, and please continue to reach out to us to let us know how we can be of help. You know, when our families share the joy of their children, there's so much to celebrate as well. So we're not just celebrating what we're doing on a global scale today, we're also celebrating the very special moments that each and every one of you share with us over the year. When your child takes their first step, or when they learn their first sign language movement, or when they go to school and make a friend or participate in the school play, or they get a little bit older and they move into a community residence or get their first job. We are also celebrating each of one of those special moments today. So it's going to be a wonderful luncheon, and congratulations to all of you for being part of this amazing community and for doing what you can to ensure that we have everything that we need so that people with Down syndrome can lead the lives that we know that they truly, truly deserve. Before we move on, I just would like to extend a special thanks to our extraordinary board members, our honorary board, Medical and Scientific Advisory Council, Business Advisory Council leaders, our management team and volunteers, and other special guests who, without their help, we could not accomplish what we do at the MDSC. So let's give them all a big round of applause. And we're very fortunate to have 3 sponsors: the Mass Department of Developmental Services, the Seven Hills Foundation, and the Guild for Human Services. They helped make this day possible through their funding. We were able to give out a lot of scholarships to families who would not otherwise be able to be here without their support. Finally, I'm very excited to launch our new web-based public awareness campaign that will open the eyes of employers to the power of people with Down syndrome in the workplace. We're calling this campaign Your Next Star, and the campaign will have a significant impact, hopefully, on encouraging employers to find meaningful jobs for our loved ones with Down syndrome. So I want you to sit back, enjoy the luncheon, and now to bring our World is Life theme to life, here is the very first preview of our new campaign video, Your Next Star.